Welcome back to this channel! Taipei isn't the only city worth visiting in Taiwan, and in this video I will show you why. Hualien was our stopover on the way to the beautiful Taroko Gorge. To be honest, I wasn't expecting much, but Hualien is charming in its own way. The limited express train goes from Taipei Main Station to Hualien in just under 2.5 hours. And you can book tickets right at the counter in the station. But first we had to go grab some food because the convenience stores in Taiwan are just so good. They have this section for hot foods, including Taiwanese tea eggs, steamed sweet potato yams, and one of my favorites are these steamed white buns, filled with pork mostly, but they have different flavors for each. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get more content like this. The station for Hualien is kind of in the center of the city, and first we had to go rent a scooter for our trip to the Taroko Gorge the next day, but we had our sights set on an electric scooter that we had previously seen in Taipei, called Gogoro. We learned that a couple hostels around the station were renting them out, so we were able to go online to a service called Martyr and basically book them and then just pick it up right from the hostel. The scooter is super convenient. It has a battery swapping system, which basically allows you to take out the 2 batteries that are in the scooter and swap them for new ones at a charging station, meaning that you get to cut out the entire time of waiting there for the scooter to charge up and just basically refill, or exchange in this case, the batteries and go. One thing to note is that you can't actually rent a scooter in Taiwan without an international driver's license with a motorcycle permit. So that meant that I personally couldn't drive the scooter because I don't have a motorcycle permit. But I didn't really mind because I was on the back of the scooter filming. And one more thing to note is that Gogoro has a lot of charging stations in urban areas and also out in the countryside. But if you're going on a long drive, then it's better to make sure by checking in advance that there are charge stations along your route. If not, then you might need to change your route slightly, but it's better to have batteries instead of having them die, right? Once we got the scooter, we went to a beautiful shrine that was a short distance away. It was lucky for us because there was literally no one else there except for 2 other people, and they were doing a photo shoot. So the woman was dressed in this beautiful traditional attire, which is apparently local to the Hualien area, and I think it was a wedding dress, but if anyone knows for sure, then please tell me in the comments below. When the sun went down in the evening, we headed to the local night market, which I have been anticipating and waiting for a while. I was so excited to try all of the stalls and the food in this area, and I was surprised because this market is actually really big. And honestly, I do not have any videos or pictures of the food up close that we were eating, and that is because we were busy stuffing our faces. But I can recommend a couple foods to you that would be good to try. My first recommendation are the fried crab stalls. So you basically get one of the baskets and fill it with whatever you like, including crabs or if you don't like it, and then give it to them and they fry it fresh on the spot for you. However, these stalls are pretty popular, so there's usually a long line. So I'd recommend placing your order, then taking a walk around, and by the time you come back, it'll be done. Something else I really loved having was the fresh squeezed juices, and they're super cheap, so we actually had 2 each. Some of the stalls might not have any signage in English, but since there are so many tourists that pass through this area, most of the vendors will usually speak some amount of English and you'll be able to communicate. So like I mentioned, this area is super big, but there's actually an area behind the market where they have these lighted art structures. And so it was really pretty to see them at night. And it's just fun to walk around this area and you just kind of get a sense for the vibe of the city. The next day, we were finally heading to the Taroko Gorge. We planned our route so that along the way we could go to one of the Gogoro charge stations and swap out the batteries for new ones before we reached the gorge. The sky was so gray and it was looking like it was about to rain and started drizzling on and off, and I had to put my camera away and we put on these silly yellow plastic ponchos that were just flapping in the wind. Yeah, so I don't have any video from that time, but we reached! And for what happens after that, you're gonna have to wait till the next episode. If you couldn't guess already, in the next episode, I will be showing you the beautiful Taroko Gorge, including a secret location that I didn't know about until I talked to a couple people that had just come from there and recommended that we go see it. So if you want to know what that is, then be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and get notifications for when more content like this comes out. Hualien was our stop. So we were able to See you next time.